Hey YouTube, this is a quick video to share some of my thoughts and opinions about three Luxman amplifiers. Over here on the left is a Luxman M600A. In the middle is a L-509Z integrated. And then here on the right is a M700, I think a U? Yeah, M700U. And I love all three of these amps, but they all do something a little bit different. So let's talk through that. The one here on the left was, I believe, my first Luxman. I bought it a couple of years ago, absolutely fell in love with it. I ran it actually in a desktop system with some KF-LS50s, the original KF-LS50s, and the pairing I got was eye-opening. It is a Class A amplifier, which I'll talk about more here in a minute. But just that pairing of the M600A, KF-LS50s, it was magical. I then went from some LS50s to some Falcon LS35As, and they're two amazing pairing. The only problem that I've had with this amplifier is that it's Class A, I work from home, and during the summertime, it pumps out a lot of heat. It burns, I think, 330 watts as it's running. And, I live in the South, so that, can get a little bit uncomfortable at times, unless I turn up the air conditioner throughout the whole house. It's a little mini heater, but the sound that I would get out of that amplifier is just magical. There's something special about a Class A amplifier. I'm not a technical person, but as I understand it, with Class A/B amplifiers, there's a crossover point. Most amplifier manufacturers will do what's called a Class A bias. They will bias their amps to run Class A for a certain number of watts, which is usually a very low number to keep the total watt usage manageable. And then there's a point where it crosses into Class B. And what I believe is that our ears can pick up on that crossing over between A and B. What Luxman has kind of moved out of Class A. I don't know because of, global warming or whatever, but over the course of time, they've moved away from Class A and they've pivoted more and more into Class AB. And the way I believe that they've been addressing that crossover issue is they've come up with these very sophisticated, I think they call it Life. I think one version is Life, and I don't know. Look at their website, but ONDF, I think, is another name that they use. Look at their website. They talk a lot about this technology that they've come up with to address that issue of crossover and distortion, things of that nature. But in their older amps, like the M600, and then there's a bigger brother called an M800, I don't believe they needed to do any of that because it's Class A. So anyways, love this amplifier. I went from that one, and summertime, I got found an excuse to get this M700 as a quote-unquote summertime amp, ran it in my desktop in the summertime, and I love it too. But in that particular system, it's a little bit of that magic was missing or is missing. And so then I went from that amp, and I've tested out quite a few others, which I've posted videos about. Where I ended up in that desktop system is actually with that L509Z. And to me, the 509Z pairs up extremely well with those Falcon LS35As. The punchline that I'm hoping people can walk away from this video with is that, in my opinion, it all boils down to this hobby that we enjoy as audiophiles, all boils down to system matching. So the M600A, fantastic match with my KF-LS50s and my LS35As. My second favorite match in that setup is the L509Z. But here in this system, which is based on some KF reference 3s, I actually prefer the M700U. Whereas I don't like the L509 as much. They all sound great. I want to make that very clear. All of these sound great. but it's all about what you pair up with. And I've talked about that in other videos as well. The best match for this system is the 700U. The best match for my desktop system is the 600A. But because of the heat issue, the second best option is the 509Z in that system. And there too, I mean, we could really get into the nuances of the minor differences between all the sound signatures and capabilities of these amps. The 509Z does do some things a little bit better in my desktop system than the M600A does. For example, it's a little bit more neutral amp. So if that's something that's appealing to you, then you might actually prefer the 509Z. For me, the 600A introduces just a little tiny bit of warmth, and I don't know, there's something romantic about the sound that thing puts out. So anyway, and also I should say the M600A in this system doesn't pair up as well with the KEF Reference 3s. If I was to do a ranking, stack order ranking, maybe that's what will be helpful. Stack order ranking in this system, KEF Reference 3s, I would put the 700U first, then the 509Z, then the M600A. But in my desktop rig, I would put the M600A first, second would be the 509Z, and then third would be the M700U. All of them sound great. In my desktop rig, here with my KEF Reference 3s, I don't know that I would choose an M600A because I'm guessing because it just doesn't have enough watts to truly move those speakers. That's my best guess. It doesn't sound bad. I want to make that clear. It doesn't sound bad. Just doesn't sound as good as the other two in this system. But in my other system, that one sounds the best. Anyways, I hope this video is helpful for somebody out there. Again, I thought I would post this video just comparing these three amps. If you have any questions, please feel free to post in the comment section and I'll try to answer. Thanks.